So, Maliss is back. Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, we're taking a look at the first place ranked, most recent season rated duel deck. I don't know how the hell I'm supposed to say that. Radiant Typhoon Maliss. That's what we're looking at today. And the reason for this is because it just received the highest rank in the rated duels, and this is the deck list. I believe it's card for card. I don't think I changed anything. So all in all, why this card, Cherubini? Yeah, as it turns out, 2 level 3 monsters gets you the ability to dump another level 3 monster. This is normally used with Terror Top, I guess. I was gonna say Burning Abyss, but this isn't used in Burning Abyss. I mean, it is, but no one plays Burning Abyss. So this is mostly used nowadays with Terror Top to go into, I don't know, something else. But yeah, that is the general idea with this. However, now we have better Terror Top. Swen and Eldam with the Radiant Typhoon cards give you access to basically Terror Top. They both special summon themselves for free, giving you the ability to go into Cherubini, which then sends to the graveyard the Maliss monsters, because they're all level 3. So yeah, you could do the whole Maliss line on top of that. Because guess what? With any other card, you could just make Lizardos and then do the whole Maliss line. It's pretty good. So, all in all, that is what the idea of the deck is, utilizing the additional searchers for the Radiant Typhoons, and just playing a small number of them, since you can search them with the Quick Plays. We're also playing 1 MST for that reason as well. The rest of the deck is pretty much just the Maliss cards. We're going to go over real quick. White Rabbit, Chessy Cat, and Dormouse all at 1. 3 March Hare. We're also playing the Field Spell as well as Gold Sark to banish them, and then 1 apiece of each of the traps. And then we're also playing the backup Adagnister and Wizard, and that is it for our monsters. I should say, we're also playing the Bestials as well, but they're also kind of hand traps. As for the rest of the cards, Maxi, Ash, Fua, Imperm, Impulse, that's it. And then Cross Out and Called By. As for the extra deck, it's a bunch of Link monsters. Who would have guessed? Almirage, Lingaribo, Link Decoder, Cherubini, as previously mentioned. We're also playing Nightmare Phoenix. I never had this card come up, but it can come up occasionally as like a way to deal with back row. Wick Kid, pretty solid to get you into the backup stuff. We have Splash Mage, we have SP Little Knight, we have Haggard, Access Code Talk, or Transcode Talker, sorry, Transcode Talker. Notably, there is something to keep in mind with this card in particular, which is that if you special summon a non-Cybers, you can't activate the effect. So keep that in mind. Don't summon this guy, or at the very least, don't expect to get the effect of this guy if you've already used any of your Radiant Typhoons, or if you've gone a Cherubini or Haggard or something of that nature. Keep that in mind. That's all. We're playing the 2 Maliss, the Whitebinder and the Heartscriptor, and then the Firewall, Access Code, and Allied Code Talker Adagnister. That's it. Let's hop onto the replays and show you how this deck performed. Okay. I, real quick, just want to show you the combo utilizing the Radiant Typhoon cards, because I couldn't quite find it. And it does matter significantly what we have as opposed to the TCG and just the combo in general. It does change quite a bit with and without the Radiant Typhoon cards. So, I'm just going to show you what the general plan is, right? Any of the Radiant Typhoon cards, except for the one that draws 2. Unless you draw into another one. Any of the Radiant Typhoon cards does the whole line. We'll grab the Eldam here. From here, we can go for the Eldam special summon. And we've kind of already seen this, but I just want to showcase what exactly this does. So now we can link these 2 off into the Cherubini. Also, every other card in your hand does not matter. None of them matter, okay? Keep that in mind. We're going to go for the Cherubini here. We are going to send to the graveyard the Dormouse. Then we are going to target this guy. And normally, we would normal summon Swen here, right? I'm going to normal summon the Chessy Cat for future purposes. But just remember, this could be Swen, this could be a hand trap, this could be whatever. Doesn't matter. Just anything, right? Then we go into the Haggard Lizardos. And we get to activate its effect, banishing for cost our Dormouse. Fantastic. Dormouse effect is going to activate. Out comes our Dormouse. Activate its effect. Grab the White Rabbit. White Rabbit effect is going to activate in the grave, or in the banish, activate the effect of the White Rabbit on field, setting specifically MTP. The reason for the MTP is because we're immediately going to utilize it, banishing one of our guys. We're going to banish the White Rabbit to grab it to our hand, the March Hare. This is very important. And then we get to go for our White Binder. Hip hip hooray. Now, don't, repeat after me, don't activate the White Binder. This is very important. Do not activate the White Binder on the summon here. We're going to use the effect in the main phase to set a trap. We're going to set TB11. Now, to be fair, if you draw any of the traps, gain access to the other ones in any way. Okay? Having additional traps, not a bad idea. Cool. Now we activate the TB11. Now, normally, we would have Chessy Cat. Chessy Cat's currently in grave. That's fine. It can be in grave. We're just going to grab March Hare here. Just any of the names. Any of the names work, right? Activate the effect of the White Binder. White Binder is going to come back. We're going to draw a card. Cool. Doesn't matter what we draw. Now, we're once again not going to activate the effect there. What? What are we doing? What's going on here? Reason being, there's a lot more that we can do. First, we're going to go for the Cider's Wicked. Hip hip hooray. Now, notably, if we were to summon off of the TB11, we cannot activate the effect of the monster summoned off of the TB11, so we need to kind of get it out of the way. Now we can activate the March Hare that we searched out earlier. Fantastic. We are going to banish that previously mentioned Chessy Cat that we would have summoned off of the TB11. Fantastic. Out comes this guy. We're going to activate the effect of the Wicked. We're also going to, here we would banish the March Hare, but it could be anything. Just any of the Maliss names, just banish them to get the search. We're going to go for the Chessy Cat here. A special summon. Coolio. Add the backup Adagnister. Again, not going to activate the White, or the March Hare. We'll do that later. We're going to go for the backup Adagnister. Special summon. Activate the effect. Search out. Wizard. Hey, that card you drew earlier. Guess what? You can pitch it. Send it to the graveyard. You don't need it. Awesome. Fantastic. Now we can go for the Link Decoder. Now that we have access to it. I should have used a non-Maliss name, to be fair. And then we can go for our... I have to remember the line here. Transcode. We go for the Transcode Talker here. Transcode Talker. Activate effect of Link Decoder. Bring itself back. Fantastic. And now we can go for Wizard. Wizard for March Hare. Summon these two. Let's go for... I have to remember the line here. Yeah. No. Yeah, Heart Scripter. Go for the Heart Scripter. Right here, Heart Scripter. Fantastic. Coolio. Activate the Heart Scripter. Shuffle back. Name. Doesn't really matter. Shuffle back name. Banish self. Reborn self. In the same zone. Cool. The reason for this, you'll find out in a second. And then we go for the Link 5 Allied Code Talker Adagnister, specifically utilizing all of the other monsters on field. And then we activate its effect, bringing back these two. We're going to put the White Binder here. And we're going to put the Transcode Talker here. And now we can activate the White Binder effect. Now that we've actually summoned it, we can banish our two important cards here. The MTP, specifically, and the previously banished March Hare. Not previously banished, but the March Hare. March Hare is going to activate. We're going to add itself back. Now, the reason for this, in this way, is so that now we can use the Allied Code Talker Adagnister as a negate, tributing off the White Binder. Then we can banish the White Binder with the March Hare in order to use its effect to reborn itself, and then banish the... Oh, sorry. It does matter. I did this wrong. Don't banish White Rabbit. My bad. Don't banish the White Rabbit. Banish something else. Banish Dormouse. You're supposed to keep the White Rabbit in rotation so that you can use the White Rabbit to then reset the MTP, as you see here. MTP is currently banished. You can set that back with the Heart Scripter. But if you go for the March Hare here, you would go for the White Binder. White Binder would banish. You would banish the White Rabbit. White Rabbit would reborn itself, setting the MTP, and then you could use the MTP to banish an additional card. That's the idea. Very powerful, very strong end board, and then on top of whatever other cards you happen to draw, pretty solid. This is just specifically utilizing the Radiant Typhoon cards, because if you can go for the Cybers stuff, you can actually add an additional Firewall Dragon into this end board, because you then gain access to Transcode's line, right? But we can't use Transcode here. This is simply just as a body, right? That's the only purpose of this. It's to trigger the link decoder and what have you. So if you can play with just the cyber stuff, I never had that happen, but if you could, at the very least, you'd be able to use this. So there you go. That's the idea. Alrighty, here we are going first, and there you go. There's the Radiant Typhoons. We're immediately going to start off here by searching. Let's see what we can accomplish. So we're going to special summon out the Swen here to grab another chance, then special summon out the Eldam. My opponent's going to go for the Fualas. I'm going to chain my Cross out. They're going to go for Lakukaracha. Hooray. So, yeah, that sucks. We're going to grab Swen here. I'm going to activate the effect here in order to search the MST. They actually go for the Purge here. They're pretty much low on cards, so I'm like, okay, I can make kind of a half board here. See what we draw into. Okay, not the greatest of draws, but I am going to go for the SP here. It gives them a draw, but it notably will allow me to use the Fua. So, there's that. And then we pass the turn. It's Magnets! Hooray! Now, you're going to learn something right now that I didn't know until this duel. Because of the way that Epsilon is worded, it says, if this card is normal or special summon, you can send a level 4 or lower warrior, Magnet Warrior monster from your deck to the grave. This card's name becomes the sent monster's name for effect. Then, you can special summon a warrior. This then matters significantly because, as you will see, SP Little Knight banishes, they don't get the special summon. Comedy! Anyway, here's Fualas. At this point, we just want to live. That's it. We're looking to live. We do have Imperm, at the very least. They're going to special summon a guy here. We draw Impulse, which is incredible. They go for the Elf. Guess what? It can't be used because of Purge. Hip hip hooray. They go for the Kawaki Maru Supplier, and I go, oh no, that's pretty good. Also, why are we playing this? Anyway, we ash it because they haven't used their normal, so I'm a little worried, and they end up boosting. And yeah, had I allowed them to keep their guy, I think we would have died. Anyway, they're going to special here, and then they're going to add it back to their hand, the Line Warrior, and pass the turn. Now, notably, we have full combo in hand, and we draw even more full combo, but we are very, very low on life points, so we need to keep that in mind. We're going to go for the cup, or for the Chessy Cat. Chessy Cat effect is going to activate. As long as we have some life points, we can kind of do things. I mean, all of these are 3, so, I mean, it's chippies, right? It does matter. But that's fine. We're going to go for the White Rabbit here. We're going to activate its effect. We're going to grab the MTP. We go into the Link Decoder here. Then going to activate the backup. They're going to activate another set Purge. That's fine. I just let that go. There's nothing I can really do about that. But at this point, we can go for the White Binder. Activate its effect. We're going to banish 2 of their names, just in case. And then the one name that we hadn't yet used with the Chessy Cat. Or no, I just banish it because I can. But then we set the GWC. Go into the Splash Mage, activate the effect of the Splash Mage so that we can bring back a Maliss so that we can use it for the GWC to gain us that 2,300 life points. At that point, my opponent sees the writing on the wall. We can go like Access Code Talker and kind of go from there. And good game. Alrighty, here we are once again going first. And let's see what we can accomplish here. We did draw a Chant as well. So we're going to grab the Chant. We're going to grab the Eldam. And now we can start with the Eldam. Eldam effect is going to grab the Swen. And out comes Droll. Now, notably, this deck is actually still pretty good against Droll, so I'm not too concerned, because guess what? Cherubini! Hip hip hooray! We're going to go for the March Hare here. Now, to be fair, we could have normal summoned pretty much anything here and done a very similar line in the sense that we could go for the Haggard Lizardos and then go for the Dormouse. But luckily, we had the March Hare. We're going to go for the March Hare into, or sorry, we're going to go for the White Rabbit to grab it, the GWC, and now we can go into White Binder. We already have the TB11, which means we can grab the MTP, which is great. We're going to go for the TB11 to grab the last of our names, the Chessy Cat, and bring back our White Rabbit. Here we can go into Link Decoder and then link off 2 additional guys into Splash Mage, activate the Splash Mage, bringing back one of our Maliss names, and then linking off those into Transcode. Now, you might be saying, hey, you messed up your zones, but remember, we can't activate this guy's effect because we've summoned a non-Cybers. Most of the time, this guy won't be activatable. There were so many times where we just like summoned Cherubini or summoned Haggard or something of that nature, and then just cut off the transcode. That's fine. We don't need it for that aspect, because guess what? We can just link off all of those guys into the Heart Scripter, and then activate the Heart Scripter so that we can Reborn again here, triggering the effect of the White Rabbit, which notably, we have saved up until this point for a very specific reason. We hadn't yet used Chessy Cat nor Marsh Hare's effect. We want Marsh Hare back in the hand, and we want the Chessy Cat on the field, and we get to trigger the Heart Scripter. Heart Scripter we put specifically right here for later purposes. But yeah, we're going to special summon the Chessy Cat. We're going to grab the March Hare to the hand. We're going to link off all of those into the Allied Code Talker, which is going to bring back the Access Code Talker, or the Transcode Talker, and the White Binder. These should be swap. They should be in different positions. This one should be here, and this one should be here. Got it? Cool. Anyway, regardless, we still have a very, very solid end board. As you can see, my opponent is also on the Radiant Typhoon cards. Cool. They're going to go for the Super Poly. They're going to activate the Starving Venom, Fusion Dragon. Out comes MSD. I'm going to activate the MTP. They're going to activate Droplet. For some reason, I don't know why Dropletting here is going to do anything. It's not. But alas, they elect to Droplet here. Now, I think the reasoning behind this is that they think if I don't have a target for the MTP, I can't do anything, right? MTP does say, add a Maliss. Then if you control a Maliss link, you can banish a card in the field. Now, notably, you can banish your own cards. I think you know where this is going. Yeah, we're going to banish the White Rabbit, or the White Binder. White Binder effect is going to activate. And at that point, my opponent concedes. Seeing the writing on the wall, we still have Marsh Hare in hand. We get the ability to banish, and guess what's in grave? That's right, the card that was super polyed, Heart Scripter. So we could just banish the Heart Scripter, it comes back. We then have the ability to get that additional banish. We could also banish another one of our names so that we could potentially get that in rotation. Like, for example, I don't know, White Rabbit. Actually, I don't know if White Rabbit's in grave, but you get the point, right? Alrighty, here we are once again going first. We're always just going to go first. That's just how this works with this deck. Mostly because of the fact that if we go second, we would just like hand trap our opponent and then do the combo anyway. So there you go. Outcome Shifter. This is why I elected to do this game. It's kind of interesting. Shifter is actually pretty bad for us. That sounds crazy, but there's a reason we're not playing Shifter. It's just bad for us. We kind of need a lot of our graveyard, and while yes, we can play around Shifter, we do end on a significantly weakened board. So, we're going to go for the Dormouse here. We go for the Dormouse for the White Rabbit. White Rabbit effect is going to activate, and then we just normal summon a guy. Notably, this does allow us to grab the March Hare, which then gets banished, and we can just add that to the hand. Fantastic. But this is what we want. We want to go into Heart Scripter. We have the set GWC. We would have normally set the MTP, but notably, we drew it, so we just have it. Alas, we are going to banish the Heart Scripter to special summon it so that it gets the attack boost, and notably, it gives us the ability to shuffle back one of our names, so that's pretty nice. It's the mirror match. Not too surprising, given everything. Alas, that's fine. They're going to go for the Lingaribo. Now, here's the thing. Maliss players, actually pretty much everyone, sees the two set cards, and they go, ahaha, I've checkmated you with the Lingaribo. The problem is, there's a card on field that they still need to deal with, that they will not deal with it this entire turn, which is very funny. So, they're going to go for the Dormouse, they're going to go for the White Rabbit. White Rabbit is going to grab the GWC, we're going to go for the Heart Scripter and immediately banish it, because guess what? They can't activate it, and I don't want them having access to GWC, just get rid of it. So, we're going to banish it, they're going to go and special summon a guy, guess what? Out comes the Heart Scripter, that's cool. They're going to go and activate the effect in order to banish one of our cards. Then they're going to go to combat, destroying their own Heart Scripter to crash in after boosting, right? Because it's boosted due to the effect of the Dormouse that was activated earlier in the turn. However, Shifter still applies, so I get to banish and then bring back my guy once they deal with it. So I still have the Heart Scripter, I still have the MTP, I still have everything, and they apparently don't have any other extenders. Nice Shifter. Good game. Alright, we're back with the deck, and honestly, the Radiant Typhoon cards fit in really well here. Tragically. I mean, as it turns out, being able to summon two guys is pretty good. And, pairing it with Maliss, which has one of the strongest end boards, and has the ability to play into a myriad of hand traps very effectively, while also being able to play some of the most powerful in Dominus Impulse, it makes it very powerful. That's it. It's just Terror Top 2.0. It's pretty strong. Now, you might be looking at Dominus Impulse in this list and be like, why are we playing Dominus Impulse? Again, you don't technically activate any of these guys. You don't need to at the very least, right? They're just free guys. They're just free bodies, right? So if you do just have them, sure, you can activate them with the Impulse, but you can still summon them. They're still free guys, right? And then you can still, if you draw both of them, or if you draw Chant and one of the names, bada bing, bada boom, you still get Cherubini, which can still activate because it's dark. So it's not really that big of a deal. And I believe Haggard is also water, which happens to play well with Dominus Impulse as well. So it's not like it matters too much, right? Very funny, very silly synergies all in all there. But yeah, this deck is still crazy. I mean, it still has the full end board, right? It still has all of the extension pieces with Splash Mage and Link Decoder and what have you. So it's still really, really powerful. And being able to do that even remotely consistently makes the deck actually playable, right? And now we can cut all of the other like Achichis and Adagnister shenanigans that aren't actually all that helpful. That's pretty much what's happening here. It's solid. It's not like perfect. I noticed it was inconsistent, but a lot of decks are now. Like Konami just hits consistency as opposed to hitting the power level. So a lot of decks are just inconsistent. You still do the whole thing. It's crazy. I don't think it's the best deck, but it's definitely comparable at the very least. So Maliss, hooray! More Maliss. You'll love to see it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy it. If you did, like, very much, appreciate it. And remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.